Hey guys and gals, I got myself a new toy and I'm hoping this will solve the lighting issue here with my videos. So this is an Atrix, if I'm pronouncing that right, medium desktop streaming light, LED stand with built-in control panel and tripod stand, and I couldn't resist but opening this up already, so it's not really an unboxing, but you get a tripod, the light, and a power adapter, and it's 40 max lumens and built-in diffuser and adjustment light settings and 15 whole watts. And yeah, made in China, just like with everything else. And this is essentially what you get here. And I've already played with it, or we're going to do some testing on it. So this is essentially what you get in the package. Here's the light with a nice diffuser, and just lightweight and just kind of, I don't know, it just feels kind of like what what you typically get. And this only costs $25, and I got it through GameStop out of all places. Got a wall wart and a tripod that goes up to about 2 feet, and it's very lightweight. And we'll do a demonstration, show you how tall it is in a bit. And essentially, remember when I do my filmings, the light's overhead, but I need light coming this way. And if this turns out very well in this video, I may be inclined to pick up maybe 1 or 2 more of these if they're still on sale. Alright, we're going to plug it in and I'm going to show you here. And this thing's got more features than this thing even tells you here. So there's the back, and we can turn it on. You can already see we're already being oversaturated here. So let's see here. So here's cool. Oh, that's brightness. That's cool, and that's warm. And the warmth of this is about the same as my overhead light. So this is without the light, and here it is with the light. I got this about the same height here. As you can see, I have more even brightness here. So my whole goal here is, and this is kind of cute, it actually adjusts. I mean, that's a full blast there. I mean, my goodness. My whole goal is just to put the light right here, is to really light this up. And as you can see now, this is pretty bright. I would never need it that bright though. There it is. And the controls on this thing kind of feel kind of jerky. You can see how it kind of goes up in steps. It's not really totally linear. It's just what it is. So putting this on the stand is another issue. This right here comes off. You can just unscrew this if you want to. And this thing not only doubles up as just something to attach the light to, this also works for DSLR cameras as well. And we'll talk about this in a bit here. This piece down here, some of you already know if you're ever into photography or filmmaking. So we just screw this on here like that. And yeah, you could possibly mount a camera on there, but we'll talk about that too. And we'll screw that on here. Alright. And by the way, this is not a tutorial. And then make sure this is loose. And we just kind of, this tripod, I don't know, I'm afraid I'll pinch my hands in here. You got to be very careful. And you have to kind of wiggle it out a bit and then just kind of, well, it's not going to cooperate, huh? So this is not really a good tripod, but there it is. And just kind of do it like that. Or if you really want to, you can just tighten this knob up too. And my setup here is not really 2 foot tall. In fact, I think that's the lowest this tripod goes down, but I will back the camera up here and I'll show you. And that's essentially what it is there. That's about 18-20 inches tall. And that spins very freely, and that's what it is. And it's meant to be tilted and stuff like that. And let's see, why are we spinning here? Okay, does that need to be tightened up or what? Or is it just, I don't like this adapter on here, but I have a full tripod that this will work on. This will work on the tripod that I'm using now. I already tried it out. All you gotta do is just pop off this adapter to get it on there. I got way too many things, and I know they're not sets this time. So my whole goal is eventually to get a bigger tripod. I have one in the garage where it's busted, but we can tip this down a little bit here. And this is just meant to sit on a desk. That's all it is. And I can set this right off to the side here. The best thing to do is to keep the leg in the front. And let's see here. That's how we usually do things there. Put this box here. You can see I got a shadow on 2 sides here. Even when I drag this other one out, it's pretty bad, but let's see here. Yeah, it does fill it in. And I'm trying to get it to the point. I'm going to put the light on my right-hand side. Is now I have even amount of brightness here. That's cool and that's warm. The warmth is the same warmth as the light in here now. Now I'm gonna get a Lego creation here. We're gonna test this out and see how well it performs, and we're gonna kind of explore it further here. You know, how I normally would do things. We're going to talk about more features. I'm just doing this in one take. There's no scripting, no editing. I'm just playing with a new toy. And things are going to get a little jiggly here. My apologies. When I usually do this stuff, let me turn that off. And you can see right now how everything's dark now. And down. This thing's already falling apart. That's the next one I'm ripping apart, by the way. And let's see here. And as you can see, it's kind of dark in the front. Well, now it's a little better, and it does diffuse pretty well for what I need it for. My goal is to put this right about here. And now, as you can see, it's pretty well lit. I think right above the camera works pretty good. Now, unfortunately, this camera does not have one of those things on here. So I'll have to have a buddy of mine who does metal work. See if I can have him make an adapter for my current tripod that I can attach this light to. But as you can see now, it's pretty well lit up. Like I said, just do something like this, and now I can easily show things. We'll turn that off, and you can see how dark it is. And then if I'm really inclined to do so, I can really go bright with this booger, huh? I mean, that's really just oversaturated. It's better than that. Or I can even just face the wall here a bit, but I don't need it at 100% brightness. I think 50 is plenty enough for what I need it for here. Just put on a little stand. Matter of fact, probably go a little dimmer than that too. Right about there. So I may end up getting another one of these just so I can have one here, here, and then keep the one on the top, or just, now I'm going to put this one right overhead, and then let's see here. That's this one right here. There's cool, there's warm. That's at 100%. That's at 0. Boy, that's really a far cry from what I have now, huh? I mean, that's really good lighting. I may get 2 more of these. 25 bucks a piece. I don't know how good they are. They're pretty cool to the touch. Now, I found out something about this light here when I got it. I bought it just strictly for this. I'm going to buy one, or buy maybe 2 of them, put one here, one over here, and maybe just put one on the top. I've been meaning to build more of a professional grade light box for doing these type of builds. I have a big one that's 2 by 4 feet. It'd be good for the top, and just use 2 small ones. But this thing here does a lot more than it's telling us here. I read through the instructions real quickly, but I'm going to take off the tripod here and I'll show you. This thing, unfortunately, there's no quick disconnect. You have to unscrew it, sadly. Alright. If you're getting this thing, here's something I didn't know about, and I saw this metal bracket at the bottom. I thought, you're kidding, don't tell me that's for a professional camcorder. There's my 4K jobby here. I left the lens hood off. And this is a Panasonic, I think this is an HEX 1000 full 4K, the full flavor. And this fits right into this bracket on top. Need to get the microphone for it still. And you just loosen this bracket up here. It slides right in there like that. And yeah, I mean, you know, I may try a video with this light on this camera here. Let me see if we can back out a bit more here, and I'll show you. I'm really inclined to maybe picking up 3 of these. The problem with GameStop is they have a limit of $75 that I have to go and buy more stuff from. Now, like I said, this is a crude filming here. And so if you get that light, this is essentially what it is. And I think this would work good for this camera. Remember, I've been talking about this camera that's not really well with low light, with the lens package, but as you can see, you know, this is one of those ones I have to rest up on the shoulder. So there it is right there. And I got to read up more on how to plug it into the camera. I may have to buy or build my own adapter. I have to read up on the camera, see if there's an external source. But it works with this too. So if you get this and you got a camera that has one of these brackets on top, that's what that square bracket is for. And like I may just shoot a video with this and just tack it on here. And yeah, this is Atrix too. And so far, like I said, this is just a test here to see how well this does. And it attaches to a camera. Now if you really want to, and I'll show you something too, and I would not recommend doing it on something like this. This would actually snap this bracket, but this is almost made for this right here. It's got the little directional peg, and you can just set this in here, and it literally just bolts right on in. It bolts on my DSR camera too. Unfortunately, it doesn't swivel like this, but it does rotate side to side. So if I set this on it, if you can rotate the camera like this for portrait filming, if you want to do your vertical filming, there you go. Be like all the TikTok kids. And yeah, I mean, I don't know how long this would last though. You just undo this bolt, and that's pretty much what that does. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't put my... If I put this on here, I'll guarantee you 2 things will break, and one of them will be this, and you probably can guess what the other part would break. Or if you really wanted to, or you know, I could just screw this in at the bottom here too, and it will fit. But Also, I have a Yeti microphone that would fit on this too. So this tripod would be pretty good. I've even seen where you can buy phone mounts for these as well. So, yeah, my camera. This is one thing I'm going to fix eventually is the audio on these videos. I'm doing this very slowly on a budget. I'm not going to go and break the bank on anything yet. So, very crude video here. But I think this is going to work for what I need it for. And of course, when you're doing YouTube videos, you do not need something like this. I got this. Yes, it's nice to film true 4K videos. But honestly, I need a consumer grade, not a professional grade. I kind of boo-booed there, but they were on sale. It was a bulk lot that they were trying to get rid of at a news station that my buddy works at. So I thought, oh, I'm jumping on that. Those cameras go for about 10 grand, so I got a good deal on it many years ago. And I only got that camera at a fraction of what it's worth. Trying to think though. You get like 3 or 4 pieces with this. A lightweight camera would work good on this too. But see, it's threaded here. So I just need to make an adapter that goes onto this tripod that I'm currently using just to have the light on here. Be really good for tutorials, and the brightness and stuff I can revary it and stuff like that. But as bright as these panels are, this is only $25. I don't know how good these are going to last. I don't know what its life expectancy is, how good it's going to be. Obviously, I'm not going to leave it plugged in all the time. Kind of wish it had a rechargeable battery. It might. Let's see here. No. You think it would have like a chargeable battery? It'd be kind of cool to have a portable light. So, anyways, not a bad tripod. Now, I have a webcam that has a threaded spot, but it doesn't have this peg. And of course, if I'm inclined to do so, just take a Dremel tool and just take that off. And I don't know, this piece was a little longer. I don't think there's any way to take that off there. I think it's fused. I can't. Oh no, you can take it off. There's some screws here. I bet I can unscrew this, pop this cover off, just have a buddy of mine make me something here. Just extend this bolt out and just make a better bracket for this. Make it universal where I can put a regular camera on here, because this camera I'm using now, this would be fine for. Kiddies, don't get professional grade. It doesn't do any good. But this is just meant as a streaming light. I'll have to try it with a webcam and see. I think this would probably work pretty good. And yeah. You know what? I may just go ahead and hook this up to my professional camcorder and just see what it is and just tack it on this video as 4K. Right now I'm recording in 10p or 1080p. 10p, I don't think that even exists. I'm going to see what this is like. And I'll be back. And I'll show you what the camera I've been using for a while. Okay, so here I'm on the 4K thing, and it looks almost the same here. Let's put this box in the back here for added character. And usually this is how you normally would see things. You can see I got a shadow down here and stuff like that. Let's make sure that the focus is in really good. I have everything set to manual bright, everything. And that's what I see. Now I'm going to flip on the light. As you can see now, everything's pretty saturated here, and we're at 68% brightness. Let's turn that all the way down. And that's at 100 there. So I think about 30 is pretty good. There's cool temperature, warm temperature, and yeah, I'm not really getting much of a shadow from this. I'm getting a shadow more from my overhead light than anything else. So let's see here. It's easy to turn it down. There it is without the brightness. You really can't tell, but we'll look right down here, right below in this dark area down here. You can see now I'm saturating that in there. And just by looking at it with the naked eye, yeah, it's pretty good. Now, anything else in here that I can show off? It's pretty dark inside. Now, here's a container here. You can see how lit up it is inside. Now, my naked eye shows it as dark, but the camera's showing it as bright. So we'll turn that off there. See how dark it is inside there? So just imagine if I'm doing a video shoot here of a video of an interior, you know. And here's an interior of the travel trailer here, and of the camper. As you can see, this thing's backwards. It's pretty lit inside. Let's turn the light off again. See how dark it is in there? It's pretty shadowed out, washed out. Light's back on. It's in warm temperature. And even the black parts on the bottom show up pretty well. This is the only thing I don't want to see here is the glare. But if it's shiny, it's obviously going to do this. So, got to make sure it's at the right angle. But now you can see why. Let's see here. What if we open up the little door here? It's usually dark in those things, but look at that. I'm covering the top here. Well, let's just put it right down here. This thing's kind of goofy as it is. Let's see here. So I can't get too close. That's one thing bad about this camera here. It's got a 3-foot limit. So there's with the light on. See, it's dark in there. Then I turn the light back on, and there it is. So I'm going to say that this would work really well. I just need to get it for my small camera. But I think we have a winner. I may just incline to pick up a couple more of these lights. Not so much of the tripods, but just need the lights and the adapters. Keep everything in warm setting. I mean, I can have it up at 100% there and show the interior of that, and that's just like, bam, right there. Look at that. I mean, and of course, I mean, I can't even really look at that. I'm going to try to readjust the angle of this thing a bit here. Kind of point it down towards more of this. This thing here is cold. I put my hand in the front. It feels like I'm standing in front of a floodlight. You can feel the heat, but when I touch the lens, it's literally hot. So this thing's got wattage coming out of it. For what it is, especially for $25, I think I got a winner here. How long is it going to last? Like I mentioned, I don't know. But I think for this, would be fine. And I think the next time I get another set to build, because I'm all done with Lego sets, I may use this camera here, filming a set. All right. Because right now and the reason why I don't do this one with tutorials is because I would have to sit right here and I'm covering up the project. Where if the tripod sits right here and I'm looking down like how you would look, you know. So I can't get in front of the camera to see the back of my head. Here's the camera I've been using for the last 12 years. It's all tangled up. There's no battery on it anymore, and it's just a Sony Handycam. This is a this is just a 3.1 megapixels. This is the one that has shot many hours, several thousand hours of just footage from Lego stuff. And have it unplugged right now. And it's lasted me this long too. What model number is this here? It's an HDR CX110. Now they got consumer grade 4K cameras that are just as good as the one I'm using now, that are handheld, that can go really close. Because see right here, this camera is about that far. It's about 6 inches from the table, and it's really good. I like that camera. Sound quality on it stinks, but what can you do? But yeah, I'm hoping this turns out really well here, especially with the light. and I'm feeling heat from 2 lights. I'm just looking at, is this thing getting hot? And okay, I do feel some warmth at the very top of the bezel. So this thing is starting to get warm now, but the light itself is not. It tells me the LED strip must be on the top. This is probably not something I want to run all the time, you know, but it does have even brightness and stuff like that. Well, all I have to do now is put this up on YouTube and see what the quality is, and if it works, I'm inclined to get a few more. So well, let's turn off the light here, and that's how things used to be. So hopefully pretty soon you'll see better lighting in the videos. And then the camera that I want is $1,200, so I'm going to see if I can find a better deal on something that's got better specs than this. Or may just keep this until it completely breaks down. I mean, the plastic's all cracked at the bottom where the tripod mount's supposed to go. I mean, this thing is really just, it's pretty much had it at this point, you know. But I just have to cough up some cash for that. But anyways, I don't know. Tell me what you think of the light on this. Like I said, lights off now, lights on, and the lights off. So I'll see how well it performs.